everyone. Welcome to Race Day excitement at its finest. Today at the Nebula Open Cup, we're brought to you by Hetty Makapsit's Togs, your go-to for the slickest threads this side of the schism.
Good morning, Spaceman. Welcome back on board to this video about a brand new DLC in X4 called Timelines. This is not the only thing that we're going to talk about today. We're also going to talk about the new update 7.0. But of course, we're starting with the DLC. And what exactly is Timelines? That is something that we need to talk about because it's not that clear. Timelines will bring you a brand new style of playing X4. You will see Timelines as a new option to start a game in X4, and in there you will find a lot of scenarios. Actually, those scenarios are grouped in 3 different types. We have nodes, which are just simple scenarios. At the end of a group of nodes, there is a terminus, which is a rather bigger scenario that has some kind of connection to the older X games. And all of those are combined into a graph. In total, you will have 6 graphs with a bunch of nodes that you will be able to enjoy. To not completely confuse you, I will just simply call them scenarios in this video. And to keep it simple, in these scenarios, you can just simply jump in and out whenever you want to. After you finish a graph or a group of scenarios, you will unlock the next group of scenarios that you can play afterwards. Egosoft is promising that we will see key moments of the entire X timeline in these scenarios. And we're also going to see completely new ways to play X4. Like, for example, taking part in a race. Races are a completely new thing in X4, and in my opinion, they are implemented very well in a kind of fun way. Though what I would probably do is I would give those races some kind of difficulties, because most of the time the other racers are so slow that we're going to pass them maybe even 2 times. Anyway, that's just one thing that Timelines now brings into the game. Another thing is that we can also now unlock another bunch of ships for the sandbox, which is now called Open Universe, formerly known as, well, basically the basic game. So once you've finished a specific scenario in Timelines, you will then be able to get those ships in your base game. Build them, buy them, or board them there. That's all up to you. I don't even know at the moment if there are any restrictions to those ships, but I hope that there are just few. I would like to take you on a ride right now, because X4 Timelines is not just a bunch of new scenarios that you jump in and out. No, those scenarios are actually embedded into a storyline that you follow. And with that storyline, I would like to start. Harper Donnell is an enterprising Argon who is trying to raise capital with his merchant ship. For the 3rd time, because he already lost everything twice. During, let's say, a business trip, Harper is attacked by pirates, and instead of fleeing, Harper decides to defend himself. With serious consequences. After Harper takes out 2 pirates, it happens. A missile is fired at the ship and seals the fate of this mission. But instead of letting out a Wilhelm scream and calling it a day, a lovely female voice tells us, "Looks like you're having a bad day." She explains that we are in an impedance bubble, which basically stops the outside world and allows us to continue speaking normally. From here on, we have the choice between becoming toast, her words, not mine, or coming with her and leaving our old lives behind. It's a little bit like a blue pill or red pill situation.
Impedance bubble status green.
I can get you out, but you'll never have this life again.
How should it go on? Will it go on at all? I mean, we could try to deflect the rocket with a flare and maybe get out of this thing in one pace. Well, in the short time we have left, we decide to go along and see what's coming.
I'm in. Get me out of here.
Bubble collapse imminent.
So, we wake up in the facility and have Lissa, a Paranit, and a shiny flying ball in front of us. The Paranit is called Tamangtal, and the flying ball is called Mission Director. We are told that we are in the year 2042, which, as a connoisseur of the X series, will immediately strike you, hey, wait, this is the year in which Earth established the connection to the Jump Network, and work began on humanity's first interstellar spaceship. Okay, this answers the when, but what about the where? The only thing you can tell by looking outwards is that we are in some star system, in space and not on a planet. And then there's Cray, Craycaster, but he's just sitting around doing some important work.
Sir.
One applause for Cray. Before I take care of the organ-like structure we are in, I take a look at the rest of my new surroundings. Oh look, a dark nothing with a path. Cool. Guess the restrooms are here, some chill place to take a... yeah, whatever. And after that, I cross a bridge to the... wait a minute. This place is huge. Looks like there are a lot more departments of the same design. How big this facility must be, Well, so we enter the living area, our own little shared flat with kitchen, garden, fountain, and sleeping areas. Only 2 of the 10 doors to the areas open, and each resident has their own room, even Cray. But there's another name that even Harper notices. Mitsuno Shepherd. Who is she and why does she have a room if she's not even here? The other residents' rooms are a bit messy, our own is still okay. Mitsuko's room, on the other hand, is locked and there's something like an error message on the screen. It also looked like there's been some kind of building work going on. While walking around, I noticed that the cupboards in the other rooms can be opened, and in one of them I discover an interface unit. So I walk around and talk with some residents, and they themselves cannot even say much about this place. They have never seen those up there. So the others talk about the people who communicate with them through the mission director. I can ask Lisa directly about Mitsuno, but she just says we have agreed not to talk about Mitsuno. Very strange. The mission director doesn't want to say anything either, so I decide to take a first mission and see how it all works in timelines. In any case, it already seems like a completely different game that only looks like X4, but is somehow completely different. And that's just like the basic start of the entire journey we're going through. We're going to see a lot of different missions. We're going to see things that we have to do, sometimes even timed, that we probably never have done before. Like there are some very odd things and some very scary things that you will probably not just go and do when you're in your own save game. And you don't want to lose like reputation, or you don't want to just use your life and have a game over or something. These timeline scenarios, on the other hand, are pretty forgiving because the only thing that can happen after you've died in one of those scenarios is that you wake up in the facility again and you are just simply restarting that scenario. And there is one advice I can already give you. When you are going to play the scenarios and you're going to play timelines, whenever you finish one of the scenarios, you should take a little stroll around the facility. Try to talk to a few people and see what new stuff is going on. Most of the time when there is something important going on in the facility, you will notice it because people will gather and talk, and once you approach them, the conversation is starting and you won't miss a thing. But there is also some stuff that people will only tell you when you're going to speak to them. So, speak to the people. I mean, what else is there between your mission interface and your bed? There are just a few people and a few rooms, so take a look around, take your time, just enjoy it. On top of the new experience in timelines, you will also get the 7.0 update, which is, by the way, completely free. Even if you only own the base game X4 Foundations, you will get access to this patch, and that patch will give you new Xenon chips, for example. New boardable Xenon chips. And yeah, you can even fly them yourself. And those are, for example, the F, the PE, SE, H, or the B. Another massive thing that Ubisoft put into the game is the new late-game crisis for advanced players. Why advanced players? Well, because the crisis is truly a crisis, and you can only unlock it once you have established a pretty big empire that is capable of defending that crisis. Ubisoft shares in their Steam news how to enable that crisis and how to operate in that crisis. But those are heavy spoilers and I won't tell them to you. So if you want to know more, check out all these change notes and news from Ubisoft on their Steam page. We have more very interesting features, and a lot of them improve the graphics in X4. Like we have an FOV slider, we have TAA, we've got enhanced shadows, improved explosions, and so on. But what's really nice, especially for new players or players that are maybe not familiar with everything that X4 has to offer, we have reworked, improved, and expanded tutorials that you can now do whenever you want to. You can jump into those at any given time. Those are split up into all the things that you can learn in X4, and they are very well made and will give you a better understanding of the game. Finally, I can say that after almost 6 years, finally, we have very well designed tutorials. So we got massive updates for everyone. We got the Timelines DLC, which gives you a completely new way of playing X4. What do you think about all of that? Please tell me in the comments. I would really like to know. I can't wait to play X4 Timelines for the first time with you on stream, on Twitch, or on YouTube, wherever you want to. We're live everywhere. So, thank you very much for being here, and see you anywhere live or in the next video.